You know, for people living with joint pain, a new day doesn't really start with the morning sunlight. It starts with that very first step off the bed. After more than 30 years working with adults over 50, I, Dr. David Warren, now 60 years old, have heard the same thing over and over again, something I'll never forget. Doctor, I don't pay attention to the weather anymore. I only pay attention to my knees. And then come the familiar questions. Will I be able to get down the stairs today? Do I have to stop halfway through my grocery shopping again? Should I take another pain pill or just push through it? If you hear yourself in those questions, I want you to know something. You're not alone. Many people are stuck in a quiet loop they don't even notice. Anti-inflammatory pill. Pain eases for a few hours. Pain returns. Another pill. Day after day. Year after year. And one day they look back and realize they're living between doses instead of living at their own pace. And this is what I always tell my patients. Your body isn't broken. It's simply inflamed, overloaded, and lacking the raw materials it needs to repair itself. Pain medication has its purpose, but it wasn't designed to carry the whole load. The longer you rely on it, the more you have to keep relying on it. What surprises most people is this. A huge amount of your body's anti-inflammatory power actually comes from everyday vegetables. The ones we often think of as just something healthy to eat. These vegetables aren't magic, and they're not ancient secrets. They're foods that science has proven to work on the very same inflammatory pathways that ibuprofen targets, but in a gentler, more natural way, especially for older adults. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 vegetables that can reduce inflammation from the inside, ease pain and stiffness, support long-term joint repair, and most importantly, help you rely less on medication. You don't need to change your whole life. Just a few meals, done right in the right way, can make a real difference. If you've ever wished for something besides taking pills, then today's message may be the beginning of that shift. Before we dive into those vegetables, I want you to understand where the real problem comes from. Because if you don't understand the root cause, you'll keep chasing symptoms, and your joints will gradually get weaker. After decades of working with older adults, I've learned that joint pain rarely comes from worn-out joints the way people think. Most of the time, it comes from silent, chronic inflammation. This type of inflammation isn't loud. It doesn't cause dramatic swelling or fever. It's slow, persistent, and repetitive. The kind that gradually grinds down cartilage and stiffens your joints year after year. The sad part is, most people don't realize that their everyday habits are feeding this inflammation. Not enough anti-inflammatory vegetables, too much sugar and refined starch, poor sleep, incorrect movement patterns, and especially relying too much on anti-inflammatory drugs. Painkillers can make you feel better, but they don't fix the actual damage. They silence the alarm, but they don't put out the fire. And when inflammation isn't addressed at the source, your body reacts the same way every time. Swelling, pain, stiffness, limited movement. Every morning, you can feel it. Moving slower when you get up, hearing little cracking sounds in your joints, needing momentum just to get out of bed. Climbing stairs feels like carrying extra weight. When this continues long enough, many people think it's just part of getting older. But I want you to believe me, this is not destiny. It's your body asking for support. The right nutrients, the right circulation, the right anti-inflammatory signals. The good news? There are simple, everyday vegetables, safe, gentle, familiar, that contain powerful compounds able to calm the very inflammatory pathways ibuprofen targets. Used correctly, inflammation goes down. Used consistently, pain goes down. Used long enough, joints begin to recover, and that's exactly what we're going to explore. To reduce joint pain safely and long-term, we can't rely only on how we feel. We need to understand the biology behind inflammation. I always tell my patients, when you understand what your body's trying to do, you can finally make the right decisions. So what actually causes pain, swelling, and stiffness? 1. Inflammation is protective, but when it lingers, it becomes harmful. Your body triggers inflammation to repair damage. But in older adults, this signal gets activated too easily. and stays on too long. Inflammatory molecules like cytokines, prostaglandins, enzymes that break down cartilage are produced nonstop, keeping your joints in a constant red alert state. 2. Inflammatory enzymes get stronger with age. Certain enzymes, COX-1, COX-2, and others that break down connective tissue, become more active as cartilage weakens. They're like tiny drills wearing your joints down. NSAIDs like ibuprofen work by blocking these enzymes, giving short-term relief. 3. Here's the surprising part. Vegetables target these same pathways. Some vegetables contain bioactive compounds that can calm cytokines, slow inflammatory enzymes, reduce oxidative stress, protect cartilage cells, support collagen production, and they do so in a natural, gentle way without stressing your stomach or heart. 4. Why older adults need these natural compounds even more. After age 50, collagen production drops, tissue repair slows, blood circulation weakens, oxidative stress increases. All of this leads to pain with movement, morning stiffness, unexplained swelling, heavy, tired joints. That's why I always say your diet is your first line of joint defense. Not by curing something overnight, but by feeding your joints every day. And now that you understand what's happening inside your body, we're ready for the most important part. 5 vegetables that calm inflammation the same way ibuprofen does, but safely and naturally, especially for anyone over 50. 5. Broccoli, your cooling system for silent inflammation. People often tell me, "Doctor, I eat broccoli because I know it's healthy, but I don't think it does much." The truth is the opposite. Broccoli contains sulforaphane, a compound many older adults have never heard of, but it's incredibly powerful. It helps reduce the activity of inflammatory enzymes that make your joints stiff every morning. If ibuprofen temporarily turns off pain signals, sulforaphane helps your body cool the inflammation at its source. What broccoli does: calms inflammatory cytokines, reduces oxidative stress, a major enemy of cartilage, protects joint tissues, provides vitamins C and K for bone strength and flexibility. How to use it: lightly steam 3 to 4 minutes. Eat raw in salads. Add a pinch of mustard powder to boost sulforaphane. Broccoli sprouts contain even higher levels. Broccoli isn't a quick pain reliever. It's a slow, steady inflammation cleaner. 4. Ginger, a warm root that treats your joints gently. Older adults often do very well with ginger, not just because it feels warm, but because gingerol, found in fresh ginger, works in a way remarkably similar to anti-inflammatory drugs. Many of my patients drink ginger tea simply because it feels good, but they're actually giving their body a powerful anti-inflammatory tool. What ginger does: reduces prostaglandins, pain and swelling chemicals, improves circulation around the joints, relaxes tight muscles, helps nutrients reach damaged tissue. How to use it: fresh ginger is best. Ginger tea in the morning. Add to soups, stews, smoothies. Start small to test your body's response. Ginger often brings relief faster than most foods, sometimes in just a few days. If ginger is your quick support, turmeric is your long-term defense line. Turmeric contains curcumin, a compound that helps regulate deep inflammatory pathways inside your cells, the same places where many pain medications try to work. What turmeric does best: calms down the body's inflammation control center, helps balance the immune response, reduces swelling and redness, protects cartilage cells from free radical damage, improves blood flow to the joints. But turmeric does not work well if you use it the wrong way. Curcumin is absorbed very poorly. If there's no healthy fat, there's no black pepper, piperine, with it. You just drink turmeric water in a random way. How to use turmeric the right way: drink golden milk, turmeric, plus black pepper, plus plant-based milk or coconut milk. Add turmeric to stir-fries, soups, or stews. If you use capsules, choose one with standardized curcumin plus piperine. Be careful with high doses if you have a sensitive stomach or stomach issues. Turmeric doesn't give instant pain relief, But when my patients use it consistently for 3 to 6 weeks, many of them come back and say, "Doctor, my knees feel lighter. I didn't realize it until I noticed I was walking easier." 2. Dark leafy greens. Spinach, kale, Swiss chard. The body's build and repair, team for your joints. A lot of people think leafy greens are just for cooling the body down or for digestion. But from a scientific point of view, dark leafy greens are some of the strongest joint-nourishing foods you can eat. Why? Because dark leafy greens contain vitamin K, helps bones and cartilage stay strong. Vitamin C, a key building block for collagen magnesium, helps the muscles around your joints relax. Natural anti-inflammatory compounds, flavonoids. All of these work together like a steady repair system for adults over 50. Best ways to use leafy greens: eat them raw or very lightly steamed. Add olive oil to help absorb fat-soluble vitamins. Toss them into a simple salad. Blend them into a smoothie if chewing is difficult. Leafy greens don't erase pain overnight, but if you keep eating them regularly for 2 to 3 weeks, they often help your joints feel more flexible, more stable, less puffy and swollen. 1. Garlic and onions, the antioxidant shield for your joints. Many people think of garlic and onions as just flavoring, but in reality, these are two of the most powerful joint protective foods found in nature. Why do garlic and onions deserve the #1 spot? Because they contain allicin, a strong anti-inflammatory compound released when you crush garlic, quercetin, a flavonoid in onions that helps reduce enzymes that break down cartilage sulfur compounds, which helps strengthen connective tissue. How to use them properly. Crush or chop garlic and let it sit for 7 to 10 minutes before cooking to activate allicin. Add raw garlic to dressings, sauces, or salads. Use red or purple onions for higher quercetin content. Avoid burning garlic and onions when sautéing. High heat can reduce their benefits. When you use this duo the right way, they help you reduce swelling, ease that dull, nagging joint pain, protect cartilage from wearing out, lower oxidative stress. A major driver of arthritis, you now know. 5 powerful anti-inflammatory vegetables. But knowing isn't enough. You now know 5 vegetables with very strong anti-inflammatory effects. But honestly, knowing is not the same as doing. After many years as a doctor, I've noticed that my patients don't lack information. What they really lack is a simple way to apply it, in a way that feels easy, sustainable, and kind to an older body. So in this part, I want to walk you through it clearly, the same way I guide my patients in the clinic. 1. Don't do everything at once. Start with just one small change. If you try to eat all 5 vegetables every single day starting tomorrow, you'll probably quit. Here's what I recommend. Week 1, pick just one, for example, ginger tea in the morning. Week 2, keep that habit plus add a second one. Week 3, add a third. The older body responds best when changes are slow, steady, and patient, not rushed. 2. The 2-3-2 pattern, a joint-friendly eating rhythm. To keep those anti-inflammatory compounds working regularly, you only need 2 meals per week with garlic or onions, 3 meals per week with dark leafy greens, 2 small doses per day of ginger or turmeric. If you keep this pattern for 3 to 4 weeks, many people start noticing less morning stiffness, that quiet nagging swelling easing up. Walking feels easier, sleep becomes deeper because inflammation is lower at night. Use these foods at the right time of day: morning, warm ginger tea, eggs with spinach or kale, warm water with a little turmeric, black pepper, and plant-based milk. Morning is when the body's inflammatory activity tends to be higher, so using anti-inflammatory foods early is very effective. Midday, lightly sautéed garlic green salad with olive oil, steamed broccoli. Evening, a bowl of soup with onion or ginger. Avoid turmeric too late at night if you have a sensitive stomach. Evening is when your body starts its repair work. These foods support that process. 4. The 3 rights for maximum effect. Right form: ginger, fresh is best. Turmeric must be combined with black pepper and some fat garlic. Wait 7 to 10 minutes after crushing leafy greens. Lightly steamed or raw. Broccoli, don't overboil it. Right amount, you don't need a huge quantity. Ginger, turmeric, about 2 to 4 grams each time. Garlic, 1 to 2 small cloves. Leafy greens, a handful. Broccoli, 1 to 2 and 1 cup. Right frequency, your body prefers consistency over a lot for one day, then nothing for a week. 5. Listen to your body. During the first 10 days, everyone's body reacts differently. If you notice burning or discomfort in your stomach, with turmeric indigestion, when you eat too much garlic, feeling overheated or uncomfortable with too much ginger, just cut the amount back by 30–50%. The point I want to emphasize is this. You're building a long-term habit that nourishes your joints, not chasing a miracle in 24 hours. A simple story about a big change. Evelyn, 72. I want to share a very simple story about one of my patients I'll never forget. Evelyn, 72 years old. She came to my clinic one autumn morning, walking so slowly that I thought her heel was the main problem. But when she sat down, she smiled softly and said, "It's not that my legs are weak, doctor. I'm just afraid my joints will crack loudly in front of other people." I looked at her hands. Her finger joints were slightly swollen and a bit red. She told me it took her almost 15 minutes every morning just to open a pill bottle because her fingers were so stiff. What struck me wasn't just the condition of her joints. It was what she said next. "I just want to be able to pour myself a cup of tea in the morning without shaking, without pain. Not climb a mountain, not go back to running, just pour a cup of tea." I gave her a very small, simple plan. Every morning, 1 cup of warm ginger tea. At lunch, a handful of spinach or kale 3 times per week. Lightly steamed broccoli, in her evening soup, a little crushed purple onion, and before bed, 1 spoonful of a mix of turmeric, plus black pepper, plus plant-based milk, I told her. You don't have to do everything perfectly in one day, just a little bit each day, like watering a plant. She came back 2 weeks later. She said, "Doctor, I still have pain, but it's different now. In the morning, I can open my pill bottle faster. At the grocery store, I don't have to sit on that metal bench near the entrance anymore. And I poured my own cup of tea this week." I saw real pride in her smile, not because she was pain-free, but because she felt like she had control over her body again. Evelyn's story reminds me, and I hope it reminds you, that change doesn't always arrive with a big announcement. It doesn't require giant leaps. It just needs small, right steps, repeated day after day. And sometimes one simple, pain-free cup of tea in the morning is enough to make you feel stronger again. A gentle invitation to you. If what I've shared today helped you understand your body better, or gave you a new direction in your journey with joint pain, I'd truly love to hear from you. Tell me, which joint is bothering you the most right now? Which vegetable are you thinking of starting with first? Just one short comment can help me understand what you need, so I can create videos that really serve you. If you found this helpful, go ahead and hit like, not for my ego, but so YouTube will show this video to other people who are struggling with the same pain you are. One small action from you could quietly change someone else's life. And if you'd like more simple, doable, safe guidance for people over 50, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I'll be here every week, walking alongside you, not just to help you reduce pain, but to help you feel stronger, more in control, and less dependent on pills. Thank you for staying with me until the end. Your presence here truly matters. One last question before we end. Before we wrap up, I'd like you to take a few quiet seconds and ask yourself a very simple question. How much better could my body feel if I started taking care of it again today? In more than 30 years of practice, I've seen things even I didn't expect. A 68-year-old man who limped into my clinic. 6 weeks later, he was walking around the park with his grandchild. A 75-year-old woman who used to fear standing up from her chair now tells me she gets up in the morning much easier than I imagined. An 82-year-old grandmother once told me, "Doctor, I thought I had no hope left." 3 months later, she was taking only half the medication she used to need. Those changes didn't come from miracles. They didn't come from intense workouts. They didn't come from strict, miserable diets. They came from very small things, repeated day after day. A cup of ginger tea in the morning, a handful of leafy greens at lunch, a little raw garlic in her food. Lightly steamed broccoli a few times a week, a spoonful of turmeric mix before bed. All of these are within your reach. If today your joints are still painful, still stiff, still make you hesitate before you stand up, that doesn't mean you're on the way down. It simply means your body is waiting for you to help it. And when you start giving it the right things, even at 55, 65, 75, or beyond, your body can still change in ways that surprise you. Start gently. Pick one small change, then let time do its work. I believe you can feel better, not because of luck, but because your body still has the ability to heal, as long as you give it the chance. Thank you for watching until the end. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll keep building a body that is stronger, steadier, and more free, one simple step at a time.